The Power Play Post Show is on the air, covering minor league hockey since 2003, and now covering the Binghamton Black Bears with news, reactions, and in-depth interviews only heard here. And now, from the Box Studios in Kirkwood, New York, here are your hosts of the Power Play Post Show, Bob Howard and Taylor Welch.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Power Play Post Show. This is the show for January 22nd, 2026. This is season 15, episode number 39, and this is episode number 553 in the long-running podcast that is the Power Play Post Show. Hello, everyone. I am Bob Howard. She is
Taylor Welch.
And we are back. It is Thursday, and we are so excited. First of all, I'm very excited because Taylor, this weekend, we have a brand new team coming to the Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. There's not a Wolves in their name. There's no hat tricks or whatever goofy thing that is from Danbury. We don't see Port Huron this weekend. And to be honest, no Thunderbirds. We're talking about IceCats. The Pee Dee IceCats are coming to town. I'm excited.
I am very excited. You know, it's going to be a different team. And,
yep.
You know, at the beginning of the year, it was pretty much, they're kind of like the Venom just renamed. But I think as the years kind of gone on, or the season's gone on, they've brought in a lot of people. They've made a lot of trades. They've done a lot of trades. So I don't think it's quite the Venom that we knew from last season. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, kind of the team that they formed. And I know there's a lot of familiar names in the team. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they all work together and to see how they face against us.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this is an HC Venom team. If any fans are out there thinking, oh, we're going to see guys who played on the HC Venom, this team has been overhauled. They have a brand new look. They have a great logo. At least I like the logo. I think the logo is really nice. I like the color scheme. Before we get into anything, let's talk about what's happening on Friday night. Inverse Jersey Night. Have you seen the jerseys yet? They've been all over social media. I think they're so sharp. I love the color scheme, and I love the fact that we'll be wearing white again at home. It's really nice.
Yeah, I did get to see it. I started to watch the Tully show. I did not get to the player interview, unfortunately, so I have to go back and catch up on that.
Right.
But I saw that Brooks was wearing it, and then I've seen it, you know, plastered all over the fan pages. They do look really nice. They always do a great job when they do the different specialty jerseys. They're always a lot of fun, and the fans are always so excited. I'll be very interested to see, you know, how these ones go, because a lot of the fans seem to really want these jerseys. Yeah,
and let's be honest, Taylor, they've only done one jersey auction, and they will be auctioning these jerseys off Friday night after the game at a live auction. So listen during the game, and they'll tell you how to get all signed up and to get ready and where to be, all that good stuff. The Black Bears do a phenomenal job of that. But these are great jerseys. I love the B logo. I love the colors. EJ, if you're listening, which I'm pretty sure you are, great job. These are some of your best. But I think these numbers are going to go high, Taylor. And I know this is something that you always sit there and you write down the numbers and you get it out there on the internet to kind of like show everybody like how these jerseys sold. I think they're going to go high because, first of all, it's only the second jersey auction of the season for the Black Bears and the fans. And they're so sharp.
Yeah, and it's something that, you know, hasn't been done before. And, you know, the Tully show, they had said that EJ's been wanting to do this for many seasons.
Yeah.
And they finally kind of gave him the green light for it, which is awesome. So it's something that I don't think has been done. I don't know about any other teams. I couldn't tell you if they have or haven't. So it's something, it's different. It's not the traditional kind of, you know, a certain kind of theme that we've done in previous seasons. And yeah, I think you're right. I do think that these ones are going to go fairly high. I think it's going to be a rather large outcome for people who want these jerseys. And it'll be definitely interesting to see those numbers.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And you know what, Taylor? A lucky fan might get a jersey and potentially another thing, and we're going to get to it right now from the Power Play Post Show. All right, Black Bears and Power Play Post Show fans, we've got a brand new giveaway for you here on the Power Play Post Show. We know you've got your favorite Black Bears player, and now you've got a chance to bring them home in a big way. We're giving away an 11 by 14 player poster, printed, sharp, and ready to hang. Here's how it works. At some point during the show tonight, we're going to drop a special code phrase. When you hear it, send that code phrase directly to Taylor via direct message on Facebook. And just like calling in to win contest tickets, if you're the first person or the fifth person or whatever number we choose for that episode, boom, you win. If you win, we'll have your poster printed and ready for you at a future game. And you can choose any current Black Bears player you want. We'll be doing this regularly, so if you don't win this week, keep listening for the next chance. Stay locked in and get ready. That code phrase is coming up later on in the show. Taylor, this is kind of like a little bit of your baby. You really wanted to do this. This was something that you've been wanting to do. You have a very much a creative bone in your body, and you wanted to do this. You took pictures that I took of the players, and you kind of put together a design. We've kind of walked through the design a little bit. We even showed it to Ivan Bondarenko and his family. They loved it, and I think this is such a really cool thing.
Yeah, it's been a process to get here. I wouldn't even say it's been that long of a process. It's been a couple weeks, we've been working on this and kind of going back and forth about, the looks and how we wanted it and, what we were exactly looking for. And even the mock-up that we did that we showed Ivan Bondarenko, it's a little bit different now.
Yep.
We just made it slightly better, if you ask me. So I'm very excited to get this started up, and I hope all the fans are excited too. And I hope that you get the chance to win.
Yeah, and a couple of the cool things that we added to it, we added the number of the player. We indented everything inside a little bit. So fans, if you want to go and frame it and hang it up on the wall, you can certainly do that. And we hope that when you get the poster that you'll take a picture with Taylor and we can put it up on Facebook. It should be a lot of fun, and we're really excited about it. And this is kind of like our way of saying thank you to a lot of the fans. And oh, by the way, I've got a couple Power Play Post Show stickers that are going to go with the poster as well. So there will be a kind of, cool couple things that you're going to be able to get from this. I also have one of those phone thingies that you put on the back of your phone to help hold the phone up and you can hang on to it. We've got those printed here too. We're going to give those away as well. So should be a lot of fun. So stay tuned to later on in the episode for that code phrase.
And I also know there's been a couple comments about if it is signed or not. It does not come signed, but feel free to go down to your favorite player and get it signed. They would be more than happy to do it. Ivan Bondarenko was very excited. He was going to sign it right then and there, but we didn't have a marker on us. That was our bad.
Yeah.
But feel free.
But that's okay, because that one the mock-up that we made of Ivan Bondarenko is actually going to go to Ivan Bondarenko. So what we're going to do is Taylor and I are going to initial the corner of it. We're going to probably write something nice on the back of it at the game, and then we're actually going to give that to Ivan and his family because they were so happy about it. It was the first one we did, and we figured, why not give it to him? I think that would be a great idea. So I've already got it framed, and we're going to mock it up a little bit for him and then give it to him. So very cool. I can't guarantee anyone's going to, everyone's going to, get it signed. We can't guarantee that kind of stuff. That is up to if you have it with you and you go to the player. More than likely, the players will sign it, though. They're always very good about doing those types of things, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and as far as Ivan Bondarenko, him and his wife were very happy and just so supportive of what we were doing. And speaking of support, the Power Play Post Show relies on your support to grow. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and like the episode. Those actions help YouTube recommend the show to more hockey fans, expanding our reach and supporting future content. So as I said, subscribe and like to help the show continue moving forward.
All right. The Power Play Post is available on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, YouTube, as Taylor just mentioned. Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post Show on your favorite app, and don't forget to subscribe. Join the conversation on Facebook. Search Power Play Post Show and become part of our community. Be sure to like, comment, and share your latest episodes with your friends. Looking for everything Binghamton Hockey? Visit binghamtonhockey.net, your go-to source for stats, history, and all things Binghamton Hockey. And coming up on this episode of the Power Play Post Show, the guy that we want to score a goal, and he knows it. I talked to him about it. Binghamton Black Bears defenseman Cheechoo Lathlin. I know everyone was probably thinking, what, Ivan Bondarenko? Because we keep talking about him too. We want both of them to score a goal this upcoming weekend. We are trying to will it into existence. Cheechoo really wants to score a goal as well. Trust me, it's bugging him. He said to me, Taylor, this is the longest he's gone into a season without scoring a goal. And he doesn't score a lot of goals, but to get that first goal of the season, he's never gone this long before.
That's crazy to think about, especially when you're on a team like the Black Bears. But I'm sure that the fans are going to be so excited to see that, you had an interview with Cheechoo. He's very quickly becoming a fan favorite. I know they absolutely love when I talk about him on the Impact Players. And there's just so many fans that are paying attention to what he's doing on the ice. And I know that's kind of funny because, you and him had a conversation about him and how you first felt when you got here and stuff. And yeah. I honestly... For me, I noticed it's almost like he started coming out of his shell the second that he was definitely paired with Jesse Anderson. Watching those two work together has just been, it's so awesome to see how well they just kind of flow with each other and the way they perform on the ice together. And I think the fans are starting to see that too.
He asked me for a little bit of advice, and I don't know if I'm the right person to ever ask advice about hockey. But one of the things that I told Cheech is that just watch what all of these guys that are on the defense are doing, right? Watch what Dan Stone does. Watch what Jesse Anderson does. Watch what Dan Weber does. Watch what CC does. Just watch these guys because they've been successful already in this league. And of course, you can watch D-Raz as well, but D-Raz is like a phenomenon. He's a freak of nature. I'm not really sure what water he's drinking because it's not water from New York State. He's definitely drinking water from somewhere else. Maybe he's drinking that Fiji water. I don't know, but he's a freak of nature. But watch these guys who have had experience, who are playing the game the right way. And, just kind of mimic that, right? Sometimes you don't always have to be told what to do, but sometimes you can definitely watch and learn. So that was one of the things that he and I talked about a little bit off air, which was pretty cool. So let's get into our main topic here in the first section of the show.
So looking at the schedule as it remains for the rest of the season, the Binghamton Black Bears have 24 games left to play. They are 29-3-0 in the first 32 games they have played so far. And here is how it's going to break down. We have 2 games, both at home versus the Pee Dee IceCats, who are 11-16-3. They have 36 points and a .4 win percentage. First 2 meetings versus the Pee Dee IceCats, and the only 2 meetings with the Pee Dee IceCats.
Yes.
2 games at home versus the Twin City Thunderbirds, who are 12-16-1 with also 36 points and a .414 win percentage. Black Bears are 3-0 versus the Thunderbirds this season. 4 games versus the Indiana Sentinels, 2 home and 2 away. They are 6-19-4, 21 points and a .241 win percentage. Black Bears are 2-0 versus the Indiana Sentinels this season. 4 games versus the Port Huron Prowlers, 2 home and 2 away. They are 19-12-0, 55 points and a .591 win percentage. Black Bears are 3-1-0 versus the Prowlers this season.
Yeah, let's stop right there for a second. That's basically our next 3 weekends, right? Pee Dee IceCats this upcoming weekend, post-game skate on Saturday, inverse on Friday. Black Bears then see the Thunderbirds come back in for the final 2 games against them. And then the Indiana Sentinels come back in for 2 more games. Now, we have 2 more games still against them later on in the year, and I'll talk about that in just a few seconds. But for me, Taylor, I'm talking about me personally here. I am so thankful that the scheduling gods, after butchering us for 9 straight games against, Watertown and Danbury, and having so many games against Danbury, at least we get these 6 games here. And I'll even include the next, 2 after that against the Port Huron Prowlers, because I believe after the no, that's actually PD. It goes PD, Carolina, Indiana, and then Port Huron. It's like, so we have 4 weekends against 4 different teams. I am so happy for that.
Yeah, I think everybody else is too, kind of break out of, get the winter blues, if you want to call it that, and kind of, you're seeing the same 2 teams over and over again. You kind of get used to it and you're kind of just in a slump maybe. So it'll definitely be interesting. A lot of home games is also just awesome.
Yeah.
To have the fan support that we do here in Binghamton is just great. So I think the fans are going to be excited to see different teams. And I also think the team itself is going to be excited because you kind of, you can only do so much. You can only learn so much when you're playing the same teams over and over again. Even if you're winning, you can learn a lot, but...
Well, no, I was just going to say, Taylor, you're just padding your stats, right? Like when you play against Watertown, well, if you think about it, we've got 9 wins against Danbury and 10 wins or 10 wins against Watertown. I mean, it's like you're just padding your stats at that point. Listen, you got to play the games that you're given by the schedule makers, right? We're not blaming the Black Bears for anything, but it's kind of like, what can you learn about another game about yourself against the Watertown Wolves or against the Danbury Hat-Tricks? So it's kind of nice to play different teams, or at least mix it up a little bit more, or just not play as many games against 2 teams.
Because I mean, even at least Danbury, they're at least, they've been making a lot of trades on and off. So sometimes you kind of get a different, maybe a different line or this, that, or the third. But Watertown hasn't done that many trades, and we all know Binghamton obviously hasn't. So
yeah, trades. Binghamton make a trade? What's a trade? I mean, sure, they hand people off to other teams, but they certainly don't bring anybody different in. It's just not his MO. And I think Brant has to probably change that. As he moves up, goes into the ECHL, I think there will be a little bit more of that for him, that he's going to have to kind of work with other teams in the ECHL to kind of cultivate a team. He'll definitely have to scout a little bit within the league. All right. So carrying on with the scheduling here, we have 5 more games against the Watertown Wolves. I don't know why I made myself read this. This is like torture. All 5 games are in Watertown. They are 11, 17, and 3 with 34 points, and they have a 366 win percentage. Well, Black Bears are 11, 1, and 0 against the Wolves this season. Okay. 7 games against the Danbury Hat-Tricks still to come. 3 home, 4 away. The Hat-Tricks are 12, 17, and 3 with 37 points and a 385 win percentage. The Black Bears are 9, 0, and 0 against the Danbury Hat-Tricks this season. The Black Bears will play a pair of games versus the same opponent through the different opponents each weekend for the next 6 weeks. This weekend, it's against the Pee Dee IceCats. Next weekend, it's against the Twin City Thunderbirds. After that, it's the Indiana Sentinels. All 6 of those games are at home at the Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. Okay, but then we start playing a little bit more away from the arena. Then the Black Bears will travel to Michigan for 2 games versus the Port Huron Prowlers before 2 games against the Watertown Wolves. And then in 6 weeks, it's a home-and-home series against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. So the kind of the nice thing there is that basically the next 6 weekends will be some variety for us, you, the fans, and more importantly, the team. I think honestly, even though some of those games are going to be away, we got some home games and then we got some away games. I think overall for the health of the team, the mental side of the team, not playing the same team over and over and over again, these next 6 weeks are going to probably be really good for the team.
Yeah, I think, I can't disagree with that fact at all. And I think, the fan base itself is going to agree. And I have no doubt in my mind, the team probably agrees with that as well.
Yep. Taylor, let's go into the next part here, because obviously everybody late in the afternoon saw the news about Zach Sirota, and this kind of plays in part of it. And I wanted to bring this up just for the simple fact that we're going to see this a little bit more.
So over the next few weeks, up to a month, some Black Bear players will be spending some time in the SPHL. This is due to the P1 visa that will need to be renewed for some of our international players. As we've just kind of mentioned, Zach Sirota, as we've all seen, Bobby made a post a little bit ago in the Power Play Post Show, and it's been posted all over the fan pages about Sirota being in Peoria with Connor McAnanama and Caden Henry.
Yep.
So he will not be available this weekend as he went to the SPHL for a couple games. So look on the FPHL, or I'm sorry, he went to the SPHL.
Yes.
I'm going to confuse those.
That's okay.
So look on the FPHL's transaction board for player announcements and to the Power Play Post Show Facebook group for more information.
Yeah, no, so we have a couple more players that are going to have to do this. I'm going to be upfront and honest with everybody. You know, Tyson Kirkby is going to need to get his P1 visa updated. That's going to happen probably within the next couple weeks. And same thing with Dan Stone. Both of these guys, Dan Stone last year, I think he went and started the season in camp in one, I think it was in Pensacola, if I remember correctly, in the SPHL. And of course, Tyson last year played in the ECHL. So, but they both are going to need to get theirs updated as well. Ando already did it, right? Jesse Anderson already did his, a couple weekends ago up in Roanoke. And, you know, these guys are just going to have to do this. And hopefully next season, when the FPHL starts their 26-27 season, Taylor, hopefully they have all the paperwork in place with the Immigration Service and the U.S. government to be able to offer these guys P1 visas. The league has been making changes behind the scenes about how they report, their business and how they handle and pay taxes and things of that nature. They're trying to change that so they can offer these guys P1 visas. Then they don't have to go up to the SPHL that much to upgrade their P1 visas or get them renewed. They'll be able to play here, and that'll really change, I think, some of the outlook, right? If you have a guy like CJ Stubbs who, instead of going up there and playing up in the SPHL, plays down here for 5 or 6 years in his career, it does really change the level and how people look at the FPHL. Right now, I'm going to say this, and I truly, truly wish that I wasn't saying this because I thought we were turning the tide. There are players that still believe the SPHL is a step up from the FPHL. I personally think it's closer than it ever was before, but players still see it that way.
Yeah, and I've had a conversation with a couple people about that. And I think the talent level between the SPHL and the FPHL is very similar.
Yeah.
We've talked about it many times that, a lot of teams and even part of our fan base thinks that the Black Bears could play every team in the SP and have a good chance of winning. I think as far...
No, I want to stop you there for a second. I think they can beat every single team, including Peoria. I think if they played Peoria... I know, and they got Kate Henry, and they got Connor McAnanama, and they've got now Zach Sirota. But if on Sunday morning Peoria showed up in Binghamton and they played a game, I think the Black Bears could beat them. I truly believe that. Peoria plays a physical game. They play a tight defensive game. I think that the Black Bears on their home ice probably could take Peoria in game one.
And I definitely wouldn't doubt that, to be honest. It's just, that's why I truly think that the talent level between these two leagues is very evenly matched.
Yeah.
But if you ask anybody else, if you ask somebody in the NHL or the AHL or the ECHL, they're going to put the Fed League lower than the SP. It's just how it is right now. And I do think that they are making changes. I think it's getting better. I think they've continued to get better.
Right.
And I think if they did if they got the P1 visa thing figured out, I think it's just another step in the right direction. And it definitely helps the teams, because now we're in the situation where we are now, where Zach Sirota had to leave. We've had Anderson had to leave for a weekend. We're going to have Tyson leave for a weekend at some point. We're going to have Stone leave for a weekend. So it kind of puts your team, we're not in a bad position. We have, an extra player that we can toss in there. And, so it's not like it's going to hurt us in the long run, but it's one of those like annoying things that you got to do to kind of get something taken care of that could just be easily taken care of if the league already had this.
Yeah, 100%. I totally think that times are changing. It's getting better, but players need to see the movement to the ECHL, right? They need to see that a little bit more than they have for them to kind of buy into this as well. And guess what? The most important person and the most important view is the players. whatever they're thinking, whatever they have in their mind is really honestly, whether me and Taylor think it's the same or getting close to being the same, whether somebody in the AHL thinks it or doesn't think it, or ECHL thinks it or doesn't think it, it doesn't matter, because the players playing here in the Fed, it's what they think. It's what's in their mind, and it's what they're being told by their agents or their managers or even their coaches here in the FPHL. Or coaches from the SPHL might be telling them certain things like, well, you're going to get a better look-see up here. But it is what it is. It's the player's choice when it all comes down to it. And, we just want to let you know a couple more players are going to go up. They're going to get their P1 visas. They'll be back. And the Black Bears will continue doing what they're doing. And I expect Sorota to go up there, probably kick some ass, probably antagonize the crap out of somebody. And then trust me, the SPHL is going to send him back. They're going to be like, get out of here. You're just an annoying little rat and whatnot. And I think we'll see our guys go up, get their P1 visas. They'll come back, but it also might open up doors too, right? Because I think we're going to see that too, where it still might open up some doors, and it might catch somebody's eye a little bit differently about a player, especially if you're on a team like Binghamton. And I this just came to me, and I want to say this: they're so good here in Binghamton that you might, I don't want to say get passed up, right? But someone might go, well, wait a second, let me see him play, and can he be that good somewhere else, just to kind of see, right? Cam Clark goes to Topeka, having a good season. Yeah, he got hit in the face, lost some teeth, and he's working on that. They got a good dentist out there apparently, and they're doing good. But if a player plays here and has success here, but because the success is so good because of all the great players here, one of the best things that could happen to that player's career is to go somewhere else and also have the same success. Proof that it is about the player sometimes and not just the team. And I'm not saying that to knock on anybody. Or knock on the team. I'm just saying that it could be a good thing for the player.
I definitely agree. And, as we kind of see these transactions unfold in the next couple of weeks or months, it's definitely not a scary thing. Peoria and even Roanoke, they're not like poaching our players and stealing our whole team. That's not what's happening.
No, I think it's almost like a work, like a good arrangement, right?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we either go to Roanoke or we go to Peoria. I mean, it was Reading at one point. We kind of have like a close-knit family going on here. I made this comment earlier to somebody because there was mention about there was a player that knew somebody else in a different team. And I was like, the hockey world is seriously so small.
It is.
Like, it seems so massive. Like, to think about, there you got all these different levels, all these different teams. And then you're like, oh, well, this guy who played in the NHL went to college with my kid. Like, it's all these stories that come out, and it's just insane how, like, in-depth things go. And like, oh, well, I knew that person, and this person played here, or my kid knew that person, and it's just crazy.
I am always fascinated with the strange small world connections for hockey players. You'll hear it, obviously, in the interview with Cheechoo, which we're going to get to right now. It's a great interview, great kid. I was so happy to be able to get to talk to him. And Taylor and I will be back after the Cheechoo interview right here on the Power Play Post Show.
Hi, this is Don Biggs from the 92-93 Binghamton Rangers. Hi, this is Brandon Bochinski.
This is Grady Wittenberg, the voice of the Binghamton Senators, and you're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
Here is another Power Play Post Show interview exclusive with Bob Howard.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. Very excited for you guys to get to know this gentleman, and getting to know the reason for his name was just awesome. And I'm going to let him tell that story in just a little bit. But he comes to us from the Binghamton Black Bears. He is a rookie defenseman, Cheechoo Lathlin. Cheechoo, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming on. And I just want to say real quick, hi to your dad. I'm not. What is your dad's name, by the way?
His name's Simon.
Simon, hello. Thank you for listening to the Power Play Post Show. I hear you've been an active listener, so thank you very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And Cheech, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So Cheech, let's get right into it. Because it's like when you were born, they named you Cheechoo, and why don't you go ahead and tell the story of how that name came fruition, and about and also a gift that you got from one of the fans here in Binghamton.
Yeah, I was named after NHLer Rocket Richard winner Jonathan Cheechoo from Moose Factory, Ontario. I think the years that he won the Rocket Richard, I was named after him, and I had no idea that he played for Binghamton or anything like that. And when I was at the Booster Club meeting, I told the fans that, and the next meeting we had was the Christmas party. Mm-hmm. One of the fans came up to me, and his name was Chris Lukert.
Oh yeah, Chris. Yep.
He came up to me and he said he had a gift for me, and he gave me actually one of Jonathan Cheechoo's jerseys that from when he played here. And it was a Miracle 30th anniversary, I believe. And I thought that was really cool. I showed it to my parents right away, and they're like, "No way!" And I was psyched to have it. But I think I'm gonna give it to them, so I think they'll cherish it more.
Which is great. Yes, Jonathan Cheechoo, who played with the San Jose Sharks and the Ottawa Senators, did play here in Binghamton in 2009, 2010 for 25 games. I actually had forgotten that Jonathan had played here. It wasn't a great season for the Senators that year. The next year, they won the championship under head coach Kurt Kleinendorf and had obviously a storybook season. So I forgot that Jonathan had played here. For you, when you realized that Jonathan Cheechoo had played here on this ice, did it change your mindscape a little bit about playing here, now knowing that the hockey world is small? It really is. I know hockey's played all around the world and everything, but it is a small world for players, media members, fans, all of that. Did it change a little bit your feelings about being able to play here, knowing that the person that you're named after played here in Binghamton? I mean,
yeah, he's one of my idols, yeah. And just being able to be on the same ice as he did, just being able to say that is just unreal.
Cheechoo, let's talk a little bit about where you're from. I still cannot pronounce where you're from yet. I'll let you say that to the fans, but it's in the pretty middle north parts of Manitoba, Canada, very rural areas. But they still play a lot of hockey up there, and a lot of players come out of all different parts of Manitoba and Saskatchewan and upper parts of Calgary as well. Can you talk a little bit about where you're from up in Manitoba?
I'm from Opaskwayak Cree Nation. We're about a town of 7,000 people.
Very small.
And yes, and that's where I grew up my whole life, and that's home.
Now, when you played hockey up there, were there a lot of rinks? Did you guys play outdoors a lot? I know for me, I told you the story about playing outdoors here when I was a kid, or skating outdoors. What was youth hockey like up there?
It was just going to meet up with your friends and being at the outdoor rink all day, and you would go visit your friends, and all you do every day is just play hockey. My dad actually made a rink for me out in my yard. So every day I would be out there just skating, shooting, doing whatever, and that was just what I did.
Was it a full-size NHL-size rink, or was it one of those smaller ones that we see on Facebook every once in a while?
It was one of those smaller ones you would see.
That's very cool. And how did your dad play hockey at all? Did your brother?
My dad, no, he wasn't a hockey player. He was soccer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My brother, he also played for my local junior A team, the Blizzard. Just watching him and the Blizz growing up, he always wanted to be a Blizzard, and so I was very fortunate to win a ring with them.
Yeah, you won the ring with them. Was that in 23-24 or 24-25?
That was this last year, so 24-25.
Gotcha. Now, when you were younger, you played AAA hockey for the Norman Wolves. Talk a little bit about that team in that league, and about how old were you when you played there? What, like 15 years old?
So my first year, when I made the team, I was 13.
Oh, 13. Okay, wow.
And we were from the northern, like that league was all about the region you were from.
Mm-hmm.
So we were the north, like all the kids from the north were there. My first year, we up in the north were very limited to the resources compared to, the cities and the southern parts of Manitoba.
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't a good team, but we all had fun, It was a fun team to be a part of.
And obviously you played with Norman for a few years before getting into what I think is starting your junior hockey career, correct?
Yes.
And what was the difference for you when you stepped on the ice with junior hockey players? I mean, I think it was junior A, versus when you were doing the AAA hockey.
Definitely the size. I just remember, the size and the execution to everything. Everything was just, just seemed more crisp, and everyone was smarter. They're bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah. The speed of the game changes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And when we talk about that going from level to level, I don't think people can really understand it unless you put it into really some basic terms. But it's almost like if you are, you're walking and then you're running and then you hop on a motorcycle and then you get on a rocket ship, right? The NHL is probably the rocket ship, right? But every single time you step up in a level, the speed of the game also just gets faster. And it's not just, how fast someone skates, it's how fast they execute those decisions, correct?
Yes. I mean, like you said, it's like going for a walk, and then the next level it's running. Or actually, I think it's going from a walk to a sprint. And then once you get used to it, you're jogging, if that makes sense.
No, I know what you're saying, because you catch up to the pace and you start, playing with that pace as well. When was your first trek south from playing, junior hockey up north and playing AAA hockey? When was your first kind of trek south of in Manitoba?
I've always went down south for tournaments growing up, since I can remember, to be honest. I would always, I don't remember, but I kind of do. My brother played in what they called the Pepsi Cup in Minnesota, I believe.
Yeah.
And I remember being down there and watching.
Gotcha. I'm sure Mac Jansen and Dan Weber know what the Pepsi Cup is. Them being the two guys from Minnesota, some of the most competitive high school hockey in North America, or at least in the United States. Minnesota has some very serious high school hockey players, and a lot of players come out of there, and it's just a big deal for them. But yeah, and I know you've kind of grown close a little bit with Mac Jansen on the team, correct?
Yes.
And so let's talk a little bit about you getting to Binghamton. Because you told me off the air you knew nothing about Binghamton, and then the league here has a gentleman named Dave Smith who does a little bit of scouting, a little bit of recruiting, and you had just won a championship with the Northern Manitoba Blizzard. And didn't know if you were going to play hockey again, correct?
Correct. Binghamton, no place. Or like no chance I knew what this place was.
Yeah.
And I never even knew about the league, to be honest. And I get a call in the summer, and he tells me, how would you like to come play pro hockey in the States? I can get you a tryout for a few teams, or I can get you on a few teams. Just let me know. And I kind of brushed it off. Didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I've seen hockey start up again with the Blizzard. I went to go watch a few preseason games and whatnot, and I missed it. So I called Dave Smith, and he was like, I was waiting for this decision. I think the perfect fit for you is going to be Binghamton. I'm like, where's Binghamton? And then I searched up, and I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be one hell of a drive. But I'm glad I made it down here, and it's probably probably the best decision I've ever made in my hockey career.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the Blizzards championship. Because you get to that point and you guys win the championship, you win the title, the MJHL championship, and then Dave Smith calls you. How did he even get your number, or did you reach out to him first?
I have no clue. Actually, some guy DM'd me on Instagram.
Okay.
And asked me to go and play for Indiana. Actually.
Oh, the Sentinels.
Yeah.
Okay.
And same thing. It was like midsummer, and I just brushed it off. And maybe from that guy, I don't know how he got my number, to be honest, but I'm glad he did.
What was your impression of Binghamton when you got here? Because we're a small city, probably the second smallest city in New York State. It's a small city, but it's got a hockey legacy that's pretty awesome here. Obviously, the Black Bears have helped with that hockey legacy the last 2 seasons, winning the championship. But what was your impression when you got here about the city, about the rink?
As soon as I got in the city, I was like, okay, this isn't how do I say it? This isn't like a huge city, like obviously New York.
Right.
But I was looking at the buildings downtown, and I can tell just from that it was an older town.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to the rink, and then I went inside the room. I met the coach and everything, and I got to see around the whole building, and I was like, there's just no shot that I'm going to be playing here in front of, a couple thousand fans. I was pretty nervous,
mm-hmm.
Coming in. So,
did you have that famous conversation on the phone with Jersey before you even got into town?
Yeah. He called me, and he was like, we're really excited to have you. If you're able to make it down, try and make it down as quick as you can. We want you to get here. And then I was like, okay, I'll be there. And it was probably around. Our calls weren't too long, if that's what you're.
Well, I know Brant can get on the phone and talk with people for a while, especially for some new recruits when he gets them in. Sometimes he gets on the phone with me and we talk for a while. So I wasn't sure if you got the normal Jersey, 30-minute, 45-minute long conversation.
No, it was more like 5 to 10 minutes.
Wow. You got off easy then.
But he did call me multiple times.
Gotcha.
And text me on my way down.
Gotcha. And who was the first player that you got to meet here when you got to the arena?
I'm trying to remember now. I think Dom.
Was it Dom Tomei?
Yeah, I think so. Because Jersey called us into the office earlier that day, and
mm-hmm.
he was teaching us the systems and whatnot. So I'm pretty sure it was Dom that I got to meet first.
Yeah.
But when I did get here, CC Cam
mm-hmm.
Servone,
Yeah.
He was the one to introduce me to the guys who all lived at Whitney Point and
Okay.
get me set up in my room and everything.
Who are you rooming with?
D-Raz just left me, so I know. So I'm all by myself in this
man,
little apartment.
So okay, so you were rooming with D-Raz, and obviously he's now moved out. But what's if you could give the vibe of Whitney Point for the fans? What's the vibe like there at Whitney Point, where some of you guys are at?
We're chill.
Just chill.
Just chill.
Is it for you guys? Is it movie night? Is it game night? Are you a gamer? Do you play video games?
I do, but I'm not as much as I used to.
Okay. What was your go-to game though?
Oh, I wouldn't say a long time ago, but a couple of years ago, it was Warzone, Fortnite,
okay.
NHL, and other shooter games.
Yeah. We talked a little bit off air. Garrett Sarge just talked on the Tully's Good Time show about playing games. I know you and Mac Jansen, and he played, pool and foosball and stuff like that. How important is that for you? Because, those guys are obviously 8, 9 years, 10 years, maybe almost 12 years older than you. But for you to be able to hang around with those guys and partake in that kind of bonding, because I got to imagine you guys bond enough on the ice, but you also have to bond off the ice too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to hear their stories and what they've been through.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're if you don't know what to do or what to say, or if you don't want to go to the coach, you go up to the guys who've been through it all, and they're the ones that give you the best help when you need it.
Cheech, can you cheat at foosball? Because Garrett Sarge just said you won in foosball, but he believes you cheated. Is there a way to cheat in foosball?
There's no way. I think he's just a sore loser.
He's just bad. Well, he beat you in the other two games, and but he says that you cheated at foosball. I'm trying to figure it out. I've played foosball before. I don't know how you could cheat in it.
Because he said I kept spinning, my hands would be near the top with the shooters, and I would just spin them as hard as I can. And so no matter what, if you were trying to hit him and he were to accidentally hit one of my guys, my guys would just be nonstop rolling, and then it would just end up in his net, and he'd be like, "You're cheating. Come on, play right."
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. How competitive is Garrett Sarge's?
I feel like that guy is just, he's on another level. And
he's 14 years older than you. You realize that, right?
Yes.
and I mean, he's built, he's jacked, he's got all that going on, and he's it's pretty crazy what he's doing at his age. But is it important to be able to learn from someone like him as well?
Yeah, he's, like I said, he's been through it all, and he knows what it takes. And same with all the other guys, all our other leaders. They know what it takes to perform and to make it to the other level,
right,
or the higher level.
Yeah.
And so I think just being able to be around them and practice with them, you're gonna get better, no matter what.
Now, Cheech, this year was the first year that the Black Bears had an assistant coach or an associate coach, and John Quinville, who has played at the NHL level, played 42 games in the NHL, mostly with the New Jersey Devils, has played at a high level. He's coming in here, and he's working with the guys on the defense. Can you talk a little bit about how much knowledge can you soak up in one day from John Quinville? I have to imagine it's a lot of information coming at you from him.
Yeah, I mean, he can probably talk forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you were to get him and Sarge, I think, in a room, together, I don't think you would be able to interrupt them. But that being said, from John or from Q,
Yeah,
he's definitely the best hockey-minded person I've probably ever met. He knows a lot and what it takes. And his coaching style is for all of us to be better. And I think he wants us to also be a lot smarter too.
Mm-hmm.
Like not just, be quicker with the puck, whatever. He also wants us to learn the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helps a lot of the boys.
Yeah, and learning the game is just going to make you a better player in the long run.
Yes.
Yeah. He just stopped playing last year professionally. Is there still a little bit of that intensity in him? Can you feel that sometimes in practices?
Oh yeah. Some like in our warm up drills, sometimes him and Jersey will be there, and
yeah,
if it's 2-on-1s, they'll pair up, and they're going 100 miles an hour, and you can just tell they miss it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I know what you're saying there. Yeah, they just miss being on the ice and doing it, and they can get that a little bit. All right, I'm going to ask you the hard question that I haven't asked anybody yet, and everything. I wonder if you can give me an answer. Who's the biggest hard ass on the coaching staff? Is it Q or is it Brant?
John Brown.
John Brown is what?
I'm just kidding. No,
Hey, listen. I hear John Brown's a funny guy. Like he's one of the most interesting guys in the locker room. Is that true?
He is truly one of a kind.
Wow, this is multiple. I think when I talk to Aiden, I might have to have John Brown on the show as well, just because I'm hearing some great stuff here about him. But between the two coaches, who is the? Because I have a feeling that Brant is more of the players' coach, easygoing. He'll talk to you, be all nice, and then Q's the hard ass. Am I right on that one?
You are correct.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We'll move from there. What is your goal for the season? What do you want to get accomplished by the end of the regular season?
For it to be the most fun year of hockey I've ever played.
What does that entail for you? What does that mean?
That means going to the rink with a smile on your face and leaving the rink with a smile on your face, and it's a pretty tight group in there, and
mm-hmm.
they're all your brothers, and every night we go and do it for each other, I think. So, and at the end of it, I think we're on our way to a championship.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, the goal of the team is to win another championship. There is no other destination for you guys, correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
It's either
go ahead.
It's either championship or bust.
No, I like that. That's great. And that's how the attitude's been the last couple of years. I'll be honest with you. It's great to hear that the hunger is still there in the room. And I know there's, a couple of young guys like you and Dom and Jacob Shankar, right? Where the hunger is, I want what you guys had the last 2 years, right?
Correct.
Awesome. Cheech, thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure to get to know you.
Yeah, it's been great.
Awesome.
He
is Cheechoo Lathlin, and we'll be right back right after this, right here on the Power Play Post Show.
If you're a Binghamton hockey fan, then you need to check out binghamtonhockey.net for all your news, stats, information, the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame, top 10 lists, profiles, and so much more. That's binghamtonhockey.net. You're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. That was Cheechoo Lathlin of the Binghamton Black Bears. We want to thank Cheech for coming on, and you'll get to hear 6 more questions with Cheech on Sunday's weekend wrap-up show right here on the Power Play Post Show. Okay, support the Power Play Post Show by subscribing on YouTube. When you subscribe and like episodes, it signals to YouTube that hockey fans are engaging, which helps recommend the show to more viewers. As our community grows, we're able to deliver more interviews, insights, and hockey discussions. Subscribing and liking is the most effective and completely free way to support the show. Join fellow hockey fans and support on YouTube today. All right, Taylor, let's get into, obviously, this upcoming weekend. Now, I do want to say there is a gentleman that just got signed to the Pee Dee IceCats, and we'll get into the preview in a second. His name is Divine Apollyon, and he used to play for the Quad City team up in the SPHL. Now, on January 3rd, against the Evansville team, there was a pre-game fight. So they were in their warm-ups, and apparently there were some words being exchanged between Apollyon and another player on Evansville, and it turned into a pretty big fight. A lot of the players were getting involved, and there were some suspensions. Well, Apollyon was suspended by the SPHL for 10 games. Now, he was set to be able to return on the 31st, but obviously coming down here to play in the FPHL, I'm pretty sure that the suspension will be paused until he actually goes back to the SPHL. I think that's how it works in this particular case. But he's a big guy, 220 pounds, 6'2", and he's a fighter, and he's going to be on this Pee Dee IceCats team when they come into Binghamton. Now, we don't really have guys that probably match that size and that build. We all know that, Emery will fight and Jesse Anderson will fight. We don't know how much we'll see of Apollyon when, PD gets here, but it is something for the fans to know. And you can see the video of the pregame fight on Facebook and YouTube. It's out there. You've seen it, right?
I have not yet. I saw the picture of them signing him, and then I didn't pay too much attention to it because it didn't really matter too much to me, I guess. And then I saw, like a couple comments about, oh, he's the new enforcer, he's this, that, he's that.
Yeah.
And to me, that just kind of tells me that they don't pay attention to what, the Binghamton Black Bears do, because I don't want to say that we're not a physical team.
We don't play that kind of game now.
Right. So to kind of, to put somebody on your team like that to go against the Binghamton Black Bears, who are I would say a very disciplined team, especially compared to previous seasons.
Yep.
It just sounds like, and I've seen a couple people, make comments that PD is very physical. They like to kind of get into altercations. It kind of reminds me of like Port Huron in a sense. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, just bringing somebody in like that, just to, if you're only bringing him in to kind of be that enforcer role that we've talked so much about here and there, I just don't know if that's a good match against the Binghamton Black Bears, because you could fight somebody all you want, but at the end of the game, the only score that matters is what's up there on the scoreboard. And if you let Binghamton get in the zone and have a chance, you're going to lose every time.
Right. And what happens if he comes in, commits some penalties, and we don't follow that bait, and we don't do the matching minor? You put yourself down a man against the number one power play unit in the league. Doesn't make sense to me. Now, I will say PD's got 541 penalty minutes, kind of in the middle of their division. Monroe's got 873. The lowest in their division is Twin City with 382. So they're kind of in the middle, right, of their division there. Binghamton, though, is the lowest in the Empire division. The next closest after that is the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Believe it or not, after the first couple weekends against Port Huron, Danbury doesn't take a lot of penalties. Okay, so it's Binghamton and then Danbury when it comes to the least amount of penalty minutes in the Empire division. But the difference is, though, even if we go on the penalty kill, we do a great job. We're the number one penalty kill. I don't know how this guy fits in. I obviously don't watch a lot of SPHL hockey, so I don't know. Maybe he's a good goal scorer. Maybe he can do other things. But the reputation is that he's out there to be physical and to fight. So we'll see.
Yeah, and maybe they want him to take the penalties. I know that Brooks had mentioned on the Tilly's Good Time show that Pee Dee, I think, leads in shorthanded goals. So, I mean, that's kind of an interesting stat, but I don't think they can do that against the Black Bears. I truly don't. And honestly, I don't know. It's a weird thing to kind of bring into a team like the Black Bears. And who would have thought that after the many seasons that we have seen between Binghamton and Danbury, that they would be the least penalized teams in the Empire Division? Would you have ever guessed that would happen?
That's a funny statement, because if you think about the last 3 years against the Black Bears in the hat tricks, and they're the least penalized teams in our division, you know what? I almost think that we need to wrap up the show and be done and just, call it quits after that, because that is phenomenal. We cannot finish the show any better than that right there. Of course, I'm just kidding. We still have a great show, and we might have a giveaway to give away in just a little bit. But yeah, no, that's brilliant, Taylor. That's brilliant. Let's get into the preview.
So as we are previewing the Binghamton Black Bears and the Pee Dee IceCats first ever meetings. So who are the Pee Dee IceCats? They are a brand new team to the FPHL. The franchise was shifted down to Florence, South Carolina as the defunct HC Venom. As we've kind of already mentioned earlier in the show, it's not quite the Venom anymore. Originally, they kind of took the team and moved it down there, and it did have a lot of their players. But as the season's gone on, they've done a lot of trades, they've brought in a lot of different new people. So it's not the Venom anymore. So don't kind of have that idea going into this weekend that it is the Venom, because it definitely is not. They play in the 8,000 plus Florence Center and are coached by Gary Graham. They play in the Continental Division, are natural rivals for Twin City Thunderbirds, Athen Rock Lobsters, and the Columbus River Dragons. The IceCats and the Black Bears have never faced off against each other, and this weekend is the only 2 meetings this season versus each other. They are 5th place in the Continental Division with 36 points. They are 11-16-3. Just this past Saturday, January 17th, they had 7,837 fans witness that the IceCats defeat the Athens Rock Lobsters, who I cannot speak right now, 5-1. And I believe they made a post that was the league record in fan attendance. I think I saw that somewhere.
Yes, that is confirmed. The league history, no team has gotten more than that. So, pretty impressive number for the IceCats, and congratulations to them.
And then the Black Bears, as we all know, they are first place in the FPHL in the Empire Division with a 29-3-0 record, 85 points, and an 8.85 winning percentage.
Okay. All right. Okay, Taylor, it is time for the 11x14 poster giveaway. Please tell the fans this week's special code phrase.
The code phrase for this week is kind of the tagline for this season, and it is bear witness.
Okay, fans, if you are the 5th person to message Taylor with the special code phrase bear witness, you will win an 11x14 player poster of your choice. Winner gets to choose from any current Black Bears player and will deliver the poster at an upcoming home game. Send in that special code phrase, and thank you for listening to the Power Play Post Show. And now back to the preview for this weekend's games against the Pee Dee IceCats. All right. So,
and I just want to be clear that you're sending the messages to me and not to Bobby.
Yes, absolutely. Please send them to Taylor. Find Taylor Welch on Facebook. If you aren't already a friend or know who she is, it's Taylor Welch. And all right. So the Black Bears defeated the Watertown Wolves last weekend, 8-0 on Friday night, and then 2-1 Saturday night in a home series. Oh, I barely could read that. The IceCats are 1-3-0 in their last 4 outings, all against the Rock Lobsters. The Black Bears are rolling back on a 5-game win streak. The Black Bears are led by CJ Stubbs, 32 games played, 24 goals, 38 assists for 62 points. I think pretty good, doing well in the league right now. 9 power play goals, 1 shorthanded goal, and 8 game-winning goals. Ivan Bondarenko, 32 games played, 7 goals, 47 assists for 54 points, 1 power play goal. Gavin Yates, 28 games played, 21 goals, 28 assists for 49 points, 8 power play goals, and 2 game-winning goals. Dominic Thomé is 15-1-0, leads the league in wins, leads the league in goals against with a 1.76, and is one of the top guys, if not the top guy, in save percentage with 936. The IceCats are led by Alexander Ledkoff. If that guy sounds familiar, it's because he was just traded a couple weeks ago to the Pee Dee IceCats from the Danbury Hat Trick. So we get to see him again. 32 games played, 22 goals, 27 assists for 49 points and 1 game-winning goal. And then they have the Twins. Now, I don't know if you knew about this, Taylor, but they have twin brothers playing on the IceCats together. Did you know this?
I didn't know they were twins, but I really hope that they were brothers because they had the same last name, and it's not a name that you see very often.
No, it's not, and it's probably one I'm going to butcher here, so I do apologize. The first one is Patrick's Marcinovics. Close enough. 29 games played, 20 goals, 21 assists for 41 points, 7 power play goals, 3 shorthanded goals. And Dominic's Marcinovics, wow, 24 games played, 15 goals, 23 assists for 38 points, 4 power play goals, 3 shorthanded goals, and 2 game-winning goals. Clearly, two brothers. I believe when I was watching a little bit of a preview or a game review or game highlights, I think they play on the same line together. So good luck to Brooks to figuring out who's who. You're going to have to use the numbers on that one. And then, of course, they have Sean Kuhn. What's interesting about PD is they've got a lot of guys on the team that have been on the team for a long time, but they've cycled around their goaltenders just a little bit. So Sean Kuhn, 6-3-2, a 3.65 goals against average, an 871 save percentage. And then on the special teams, Binghamton's power play is ranked number 1, 55 power play goals. No one's even close to that number. 28% conversion rate. On the PK, ranked number 1, only 14 power play goals, 91%. I think at some point we should start doing like the power play to penalty kill differential numbers, right? Because for Binghamton, it's 41 difference. That's just nuts. For the Pee Dee IceCats, their power play is ranked 7th. They've scored 31 power play goals for a 22 conversion rate, so not too bad. And on the PK, ranked 6th with 28 power play goals against an 81%. So if you think about it, their differential is 3 versus the Black Bears, which is 41. That's just an insane little stat within a stat, you know what I mean, to look at. That the Black Bears have out power play goaled their opponents by 41, where PD, they've only done it by 3. So that says a lot about what happens when you give the Black Bears power plays or when they go on to the penalty kill. They're just so dominant in these areas. And Taylor, I've been told the big reason why the team thinks this is happening, why Brandt thinks this is happening, is because Brandt is handling the power play, or no, I'm sorry, the penalty kill, and Q is handling the power play, right? So when you have 2 coaches handling one of each, and you don't have to do both, it really does make a difference, and it helps out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that doesn't really surprise me that much. We've kind of heard Brandt, mentioned here and there a couple times, even when Tyson was helping out when he was on the IR, about just having the extra set of eyes has really helped Brandt so far this season. And it seems to be, making all the difference in the world. I mean,
yeah,
we weren't from saying how could this team be any better, and here they are just showing up every day and proving us wrong.
Yep, I definitely did say how could they get any better, and they certainly have gotten a lot better. Okay, Taylor, before we go off the air, what is the special code phrase again?
The special code phrase that you need to send to me is the tagline for the season, and that is bear witness.
And if you're the 5th person to message her bear witness, you will win a poster, 11 by 14 poster. We've already seen it. We've already seen the mock-up. It looks great. And we will get it printed and Taylor will meet you wherever we need to meet you. She'll work that out in the message that you send to her, and that'll be great. Taylor, thank you very much, so much for working on this and getting this put together. You've done such a great job with the poster. I think the fans are really going to love it, and we've already seen a couple players see it, and they loved it as well.
And I'm very happy. I'm excited for this to start happening, and I can't wait for the first one to go out there. And since we're kind of talking about specialty teams, I think it's just fair to say that we lead a lot of the leaderboard. There's a Binghamton player name on most of the leaderboard. We've got, for points, CJ Stubbs. He's tied for first. For goals, it's CJ Stubbs. Assist, no shocker there. It's Ivan Bondarenko. For power play goals, it's Austin DeRazio. Game-winning goals, shocker, CJ Stubbs. Who would have thought? And then the goals against average, save percentage, and wins all go to Dominic Tomei.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He leads every category except shutouts. And, we've talked about it in the last episode that shutouts, there haven't been that many this year.
No, there hasn't. I mean, the Black Bears have had 2, Connor McAnana with 1. And of course, Dominic Tomei had 1 last Friday, an 8-0 win. So, but that's okay. That's okay, because honestly, his goals against average has shown that, him having as many as 7 1-goal games really has been pretty awesome. The Black Bears defense has been great. And of course the offense has been good. And your best defense is a great offense, but also at the same time, if you have a great defense, that's a great defense as well. Did that make sense? I don't think that made sense. If you're still,
it probably made sense to the goalie mind. So
yeah, yeah.
It seems like they always have a screw loose, or everybody says they're crazy somehow. We've met our goalies, and they all seem like great human beings. So I don't know at what point they're crazy, but because and I always say you've got to be crazy to want to play a position where you have pucks being flown at you.
There you go.
Such high speeds, but
that's the answer right there. That's the answer right there. Because they have either they have a problem with it and they just take the abuse, or they don't have any problem with it, and that's what just kind of makes them a little bit crazy. All right. I think that's it. All right. The Power Play Post Show is available on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post Show on your favorite app, and please don't forget to subscribe. The more you subscribe and the more you like the episodes, the better. And even commenting is always helpful as well. Join the conversation on Facebook. Search Power Play Post Show and become part of our community. Be sure to like, comment, and share our latest episodes with your friends. Looking for everything Binghamton Hockey, visit binghamtonhockey.net. Thank you to Rob Lapolis, our MC, John Petitucci, our musical director, and from the Binghamton Black Bears, Binghamton Black Bears defenseman, Cheechoo Lathlin. A special thank you to Taylor for getting this poster giveaway off the ground. I'm really excited for fans on Thursdays to be able to get this. I am Bob Howard. She is
Taylor Welch.
And we'll talk to you next time right here on the Power Play Post Show.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Power Play Post Show. Be sure to tune in next week to the Box Studios Radio Network for all the latest Black Bears news and interviews from around minor league hockey. The Power Play Post Show would like to thank John Petitucci for all the music you hear on the show. You've been listening to the Power Play Post Show.